Charlie Kirk is going to go on a very deeply racist rant. And it's, well, it's, I would say that it's shocking, but it really isn't. Take a look.
If we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course, that's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance.
Oh my God, he admitted it.
The Republican Party's racist.
There it is. And there it is. Again, this is not a surprise to me. Shouldn't be a surprise to any of you, but the total mask off, hood off, whatever you want to call it. Charlie Kirk, deeply racist. So look, by the way, I love how he talks about, impressed you, impressed with your brilliance, right? Charlie Kirk is not impressing anybody with his brilliance. Okay? That's why he says brain dead things like this all the time. Okay? So, look, affirmative action no longer exists, by the way. But basically, what it allowed for is one of the considerations for college admittance, and it's really important in very, very competitive Ivy League schools. One of those considerations to be based on race. Not the only consideration, just one of them to try to promote more diversity. So now, there are people, read morons, like Charlie Kirk, that think, oh, race is the only factor. And they just go and take people that have that have terrible grades, and they put them in these schools. They're not smart enough. He literally said it in his own words. That's not what affirmative action was. The whole point was to give people in disadvantaged communities who excel, by the way, who have good grades, to give them a shot at getting into these very prestigious schools. That's it. You have to work incredibly hard to get into an Ivy League school. And if you're a minority, you have to work even harder to get into an Ivy League school. At least now. Good grades, high test scores, academic achievement, all that stuff. Now, of course, there is one group of people that actually does kind of fit what Charlie Kirk's talking about. Any black people, it's legacy admissions. These are, in many cases, not all of them, but in a lot of cases, people who, they have parents that have, donated to the schools. Yes, very influential donors to these schools, and have a legacy here, you see. We're going to let these people in. It doesn't matter their grades in some cases, and I'm going to show you some examples of that. The right wing, however, they don't want to talk about legacy admissions for a reason. But it turns out, according to recent reports, the real people who are stealing jobs from qualified people are, again, legacy admissions. 3 private universities in California acknowledged to the state that in recent years, they admitted some legacy students who didn't even meet minimum admission requirements, according to the San Francisco Chronicle. Those institutions are Pepperdine University, University of Southern California, and Vanguard University. USC reported offering admission to 8 students over the course of 4 years who were related to donors or alumni but didn't meet admission requirements, according to that report. Because of course, right? Pepperdine reported to the state that it offered admission to fewer than 10 legacy students who did not meet the university standards in each of the 20 to 21 and 21 to 22 academic years. A spokesperson said one student was admitted each year. Vanguard reported that fewer than 10 such students admitted in 3 of the past 4 academic years. So what they gave to clearly unqualified people could have went to more qualified students. How's that for affirmative action? Right there. That's affirmative action for rich people. Rich, generally white people. Let's be very, very clear about that. And this guy wants to talk about, you're taking it from the more deserving whites. That's what you're doing. Yeah, you wouldn't be there if it weren't for stealing a spot from white people. How is that any different than white nationalist rhetoric? Oh, right, it's not, because it actually exactly matches white nationalist rhetoric. That's what it is. Look, I know there are people out there who still pretend to claim, no, we're just against that policy of affirmative action because we just believe in a merit-based system. We don't think racism exists anymore. First of all, wrong. Racism absolutely does exist in this country. And secondly, we're not a merit-based society. It's not meritocracy. You just saw that there are people who are deeply unqualified, don't meet the admission standards, but because they're rich, have rich parents that have donated to the school, they get in. That's a travesty, and everyone who professes to care about merit-based admissions should be outraged, should be livid. Is Charlie Kirk livid over this? No. Absolutely not. No, you see how gleeful he was to basically say, these black women are stupid. Black women, they're dumb. Yeah, they'd never make it on their own. That's Charlie Kirk for you, and that's incredibly racist. Incredibly racist. But again, here's the thing. In reality, racists, you know what the number one thing racists are scared of? Educated black people. It's true. It's true. They do not want black people to succeed because they believe that if black people do better, they somehow do worse. They no longer get to feel superior to other people. And that pisses them off. That frustrates them. Oh, we're supposed to be the superiors. But you're not. Clearly, you're not. Look, at the end of the day, this is not a zero-sum game. All right? When black people do better, society does better. When minorities do better, society does better. When everyone does better, everyone does better. But Charlie Kirk is a dumbass. He believes that he's more intelligent than one of the most highly qualified black women on the Supreme Court. Really? Nah, there's no contest. Because obviously she's on the court, and Charlie's spouting white nationalist talking points to some of the dumbest people on the internet.